My God. All right. Uh, maybe it's live now. I don't know. Anyway, uh, well, it's my very first time doing this, so if it goes poorly, um, you know why. It's because I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't know if it came across in the beginning part, but I tried a little art project with my kids using spray paint and hydro dipping, big bucket of water, and it went pretty poorly, as you can see. Um, one of the walkie-talkies we tried to use turned out pretty awesome, but for the most part, it went poorly. Anyway, so I got a bunch of new Mad magazines. My comic shop got in a big box, and the guy let me go through them. Said $2 a piece. So I tried to use my memory as best I could to buy ones that I did not already have, and I already own all of these. So, but I thought it might be fun to just kind of go through these. So I got this one right here. Well, as you can see, it's pretty awesome. A lot of pop culture stuff. We got Batman Returns. Is that the one with Robin? Oh no, or is it like Batman Forever? I don't know. I forget. Robin Hood. Probably around the time Robin Hood, that Kevin Costner Robin Hood came out, possibly. NYPD Blue. Class of 96. I loved this cover because congratulations, class of 2020. By the way, you're doomed. Then here we have a Judge Ito ready to drop the gavel. O.J. Simpson. I forget the lawyers' names, but they're there too. But anyway, so I guess I'll start with this one because I almost said I like OJ. That's not how I feel about OJ. I don't really like OJ. But anyway, so this is Mad number 332, December 94, buck 95, which is indeed cheap. Um, like one, like I was thinking about this when I picked this up. Um, unless you were alive during the OJ trial, it's really hard to convey what a big deal it was. I mean, there are things now that like everybody knows about, like Tiger King on Netflix. Everybody knows about it, but it's like in a month, nobody's going to be talking about Tiger King at all. But everybody knew about O.J. Simpson and the whole trial. Not only that, like it has been it has become part of our culture, decades past when it actually happened. So, I mean, OJ's still going to jail for stuff, right? Anyway, a Drew Friedman cover. I don't know how many he's done. I like this though, with like the stippling. I think that's the term. Kind of neat. Wall Street Journal does that with their pictures of their people. How many? Awas Productions. Hello, what's up? How many issues am I up to? I think last I checked, I've got like 407 or something, right around there. But yeah, it's the higher I get, the closer I get to that complete collection. The harder it is to find books like going through crates that I don't already own. Um, so anyway, here we go. I mean, this is like I would say one of the worst table of contents that Mad Magazine ever produced. Um, and that's all I really have to say about it. The Letters and Tomatoes department. We have the Star Trek Spectacular. Um, one cool thing. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. A child got out of bed. Call. Yeah, it was kind of an F. Sorry about that. I'm back though. Um, anyway, so this Mad Star Trek Spectacular. One thing, I just started watching Star Trek, the original series. It is on um, uh, Netflix right now. I'd never watched it my entire life. Turns out, pretty good show. Who would have thought that? People. Oh, here we have kind of amped up. I've never done a live stream before, so like my heart's racing. I'm gonna zoom in on this letter. We have the NYPD boobs cover. Dear Nick Meglin, the editor of Mad Magazine at the time. Dear Mr. Meglin, I'm delighted, as always, to have a show lampooned by you guys. Artwork is great. One question, where's my right hand? Is that why I'm grinning and Amy isn't? Again, thanks for a great laugh and an equally great compliment. Stephen Botchko. So I actually I think they're talking about this issue. They're talking. All right, so he's referring to this issue. Yeah, where's his right hand? That's why he's so happy right there. All right, so let's get through. Let's check out some of this OJ stuff. I'm trying to complete my collection too. I have 200. I have a bit to catch up on you. Yeah, it's I mean, like the thing that helped me the most with getting a lot of those issues was like inheriting collection. Like my uncle, he had to clear everything out of his house, and he'd been carrying around a bunch of Mad magazines, and so it's like I picked up 50 from him, and so like that makes things go pretty long. That helps push you forward pretty quickly in it. But I mean, some of that stuff it's really hard to find, regardless of collections. And it's not the same as like comic book collecting. I think like with Mad Magazine, they were putting out a pretty consistent number. They didn't have like those issues like that would just blow the doors off of the industry and people would be buying like hundreds and thousands of copies of it. But I don't know. It's there it seems like the most sought after ones, like the one like Spy versus Spy first appearance. Like it is harder to find for whatever reason, even though there should be just as many floating around as there are this issue. There's also you're in the chat, there's a pretty big delay. Just like watching the stream as it's happening. I had my internet sucks. And so, hey, Tom Smith, what's up, man? My internet sucks, so I had to do like low latency just so I could have a decent production value, I guess. I don't know. I need to like just get off the Wi-Fi and plug it in fully. Tom, I'm doing great, man. I'm just going through. I have some kind of 90s Mad magazines that I just wanted to kind of go through a little bit. Hope you're doing good, man. All right, so how TV networks can work Simpson trial updates into their regular programming. So this is what I was kind of talking about with like, if you didn't live through the Simpson trial, it's impossible to understand what a big deal it was. Like there was not memes about it. Like, Tiger King memes were the rage a couple weeks ago. But it's like now Tiger King is gone. But like, I mean, they would do stuff where it was like you would get updates. I remember I was in like elementary school and they announced the verdict of the OJ trial when I was in elementary school. And I was like, I don't know what grade I was in, but I was young. But like, kids were like, hey, we don't know what I don't know why the hell they told us about that. So, not so subtle signs. Your parents think it's time you moved out of their house. People forget Gen X. Gen X were the millennials. They used to be the hated generation. Now millennials are the hated generation, and everything old is new again, right? when you ask your dad to lend you $50, he gives it to you in traveler's checks. That's, nobody knows what those are. Although it's not Thanksgiving and you're over 21, you still have to eat your meals at the little table. Club is installed on the refrigerator door. It's just full of like old references. You wake up one morning to find in your bed the head of of your old hobby horse. And then of course, when your friends call, your dad puts them on hold, leaves for work. All right, here we go. We got some John Caldwell cartoons, that like kind of shaky line stuff. Don't know how he does it, but yeah. All right, Tom. Oh, so they announced it for you too. I think you must be a little older than I was if you were in high school when they announced it. But I mean, like that seems slightly more appropriate than announcing it to like elementary school. Here we have Speed. Oh man, that was like it's sort of like, you know, when you're a kid and those action movies that come out when you're a child, or that I guess like when you see when you're a kid. Like for me, I was watching. I remember watching Speed at home. Never went to the movies, so I saw Speed at home, and it just stuck with me. And there were so many super cool things about that movie. Dennis Hopper. That was the very first Dennis Hopper movie that I've ever seen. And it was, yeah, it was pretty great. Like, it's funny how movies like that just like stick in your mind because of that. The other one is Terminator 2. Watched that in Tom Gelvick's basement. It's like I was really young. It was very inappropriate for me to watch it, but you know, his parents didn't really care, so it was pretty awesome. Um, then of course, oh yeah, there's that where it's like the scene where they can't stop, and there's a lady with her perambulator crossing the road, and it's like it's full of tin cans. Like, uh, what is that? Yeah, Tom, I would love to, and I got to set that up. I've been uh lazy on the interviewing stuff, so I'm trying to get that. I'm gonna try to get like back in the swing of that and try to like plan out a couple of them so that I can get some banked and then have the interviews releasing more regularly, if that makes sense. But yeah, I did not forget because I want to talk to you about this. You have huge depth of knowledge when it comes to these old books. I remember this one. This is like, just take us. I can't really zoom in on it. The crematorium is closed for repairs. Can you believe this? Crematorium is closed. This stiff doesn't get cremated today. We don't get paid. That's how it works in the funeral industry. You got to torch them up, or you don't get that paycheck. Got any ideas, Jake? Here we go. Pizza pie. You want to make a couple? You want to make a couple bucks, Gino? Throw this stiff in your pizza oven. Gosh, look at 2 people have liked this video, man. That makes me pleased as punch. They say. Strategic aircraft. Might actually, I'm gonna blow through some of these. I think a little bit more quickly. I'm used to doing it kind of slowly, but I do want to get through all 5 of these. This is an artist, Sean Eisenporth. He he's pretty awesome. I don't know what it is. Like this style I love. I mean, like all of his people kind of look like these weird sort of, I don't know, like they have like toddler bodies. Like this like disgusting leaky diaper. Oh, don't you want to hold little Rupert? No, I'd prefer you keep your slobbering poo-poo factory to yourself. The writing's okay on them, but for some reason, this artwork, I don't know what it is about it, but I just like the style. Very simple. Got more stippling. That must have been big in the night. The Lion's Kin. There was like, I still don't get used to this. I mean, Tom, you and I have talked before about how Cracked did a lot of the Disney and animated movie spoofs. And it's like when I see these in Mad Magazine, I'm never used to them. But they're doing like a Mystery Science Theater type thing. They have The Simpsons making snarky comments about it. I do like this though. There's a little Alec Baldwin reference right there as the Shadow. Which if you ever have time, those old Shadow radio programs are pretty legit. So here we go. So this is like who is this? Frank Jacobs, right? Yeah. So Drew Friedman, the cover artist, did this, illustrated this, and it's Louis Farrakhan Christmas Carols. And I don't know. I think Louis Farrakhan has always been a very inflammatory, I don't know, notorious. He's an interesting guy. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people love him. And he was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't really know that much about it, except that he was very controversial. And so, but he like came in the news again because some celebrity posted some video of him. And I mean, like, here's the thing that makes him notorious is he's like profoundly anti-Semitic. Like he said like horrendous things about the Jewish people. And so, I don't know, some celebrity posted something, some video of his, and everybody was very upset about it. The lighter side of, I'm not going to repeat myself about how I feel with the lighter side of. Here is Spy versus Spy. Gone, by this time, gone are the days of Prohas. M&E, who is that? I don't know who that is. If you're still watching, who's doing Spy versus Spy at this time? I forget. There was like some quick turnover. Like it was Prohas, and then I don't know I think maybe he passed away, presumably, or I don't think he would just retire. Maybe he would. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But there was like a bunch of people, like maybe like 5 or 6 that did it before Kruper took it over. And it's kind of interesting because, like, at this time, I had no idea that other people were doing Spy versus Spy. I thought it was just one person the entire time doing that. Uh-oh. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was like just one person doing it the entire time. Now, with like, I guess, a better eye for artwork and like the variations that artists have, it's easier for me to spot that difference. But names of music groups as they appear elsewhere in our lives. Let's see if I can remember any of these people. Well, we have Joe Camel. I, of course, know Joe Camel. When I smoked Camels. Like, how could you not? I'm no cowboy, all right? That's like, that always seems so exotic to me. I remember all the billboards from when I was a kid. Simple Minds, that's Dan Quayle. I don't know who that is. That Spin Doctors, George Stephanopoulos, I know that guy. Supertramp. She was, I don't know, I forget what her name. All right, so I don't know why they're doing that, but they're just totally roasting. Is that Conan O'Brien? And it's just called The Who. Must have been when his show like first got on air. And 10,000 Maniacs, the supporters of North, Naughty by Nature. Mad look at women in uniform. Yeah. The way nobody draws a lady like Sergio Aragones. All right? That's a fact. Okay? Don't care. Don't care what you have to say. Ferris Schlump, Forrest Gump, lampooning. There we go. Look at, I still got this. I wonder if I could would they still honor this? Probably not. Definitely not. but it's a stupid thing to ask. Anyway, so I got these ones. Now, actually, I'm going to pull this one out, even though it's not the right Batman. Oh, yeah, Batman Forever. It said it right on the cover. Why could I not read that? 5 viewers, a personal record, an all-time high. Hit like, please. That's helpful, I guess. That's what people tell me. Anyway, so this is issue 337. Came out July 1995, $1.99, and that is indeed cheap. I'll tell you this. That is cheap. That's like, this is a lot of magazine for $1.99. I mean, now I'm paying, like, how much am I paying for it now? I don't have a new issue. Anyway, so here we go. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but my man, I almost said Kevin Costner. What's his name? This is embarrassing. Mr. Mom. That's Mr. Mom, the actor, Michael Keaton, is he might be taking up the mantle of Batman once again, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's like nostalgia, right? Like, that's an easy way to make a bunch of money at the box office. So I think that would be a good idea for him to do. Anyway, well, not for him, but for Warner Brothers, certainly. Again, OJ on the cover, making the cover OJ. And gosh, how many Batmans do we have? When is The Batman coming out with Robert Pattinson? Because The Batman is going to come out with Robert Pattinson, but right before that, the Snyder Cut is going to come out, and then possibly after the Robert Pattinson first of a trilogy comes out, there's going to be a another it'll be the one with Michael Keaton. So that's like that's awesome. I don't know. I've always enjoyed the Elseworld stories, and so to me, like, why not let's have 12 Batmans all at once? Who cares? And people aren't idiots. They can figure it out. I mean, they figure out. People watched Memento, all right? I think they can figure out 5 Batmans. Come on, guys. Letters in Tomatoes department. My father's been reading your magazine for 35 years. This is what he looks like now. What an embarrassment. Alex, why would you send that of your father? Jeez Louise. I don't. Why would this? This is like the most ambitious title for a movie I have ever seen in a Mad magazine. Buttman for Schluggen. They said, and in case you're wondering, it was supposed to be Batman Forever, but it's Buttman for Schluggener. Who did this artwork? This Angelo? No, that's Mort Drucker right there. My microphone is right in the way. But lovely. Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey. Well, does that look like Jim Carrey? I don't know. That lady looks like who she is. And I don't know. These two are a little bit off. That Val Kilmer, he got the lips for sure, but I don't know. Val Kilmer is Batman. Who was like, put a blonde guy in. That's a good idea. A kick in the assembly. There's an especially hot place in hell. Surely it is reserved for the numbskull idiot morons who write assembly instructions. Whether you're trying to put together a child's toy, an exercise bike, or storage bin, there's a way to make the instructions impossible to understand. These beanhead writers do it with ambiguous terms, technical jargon, and meaningless phrases. Then again, maybe all these instructions are clear, and it's just the entire population of the planet which is mechanically challenged. Nah, it's them. We wish them a pox on their house as we present Rumbaflex 2000. Now you're in control. Artist Melinda Dunn. Jim Barton, the writer, two artists and two creative folks I've never heard of. Now, this artist, Drew Friedman, I got to find out what's Drew Friedman been up to. I'm going to write that down. Drew Friedman. Drew Friedman was killing it in the 90s. He did the cover of that last one with OJ on it. Like, it was pretty legit. So, I'm going to say, I don't know, man. I like his caricatures because it's just like, he does this like toddler body too, where it's like the proportions are just not quite right. Only a wrestling fan could ever totally despise that evil scum of the earth rat bastard wrestler. Till the moment he turned good. Yeah, Razor Ramon, man. Chant USA during a match between a guy from Texas and a guy from Michigan. Hey, there's Vince McMahon. I know him. I forget. This is. Oh yeah, Ric Flair, and then this guy. I forget. He was that Sting? No, that wasn't Sting. It was Sting. I forget. Hulk Hogan. Only somebody who likes pro wrestling could see nothing wrong with a brother tag team where two siblings are 37 years apart in age. And here, listen, I have quite a few brushes with fame. And one of them is Mean Gene Okerlund. My father was personal friends with Mean Gene Okerlund and his son. And I almost met him once. Actually, I think I did meet him once. But we would always get tickets to WWE. No, WCW when it came by. Which was a lot of fun. But I could truly believe the announcer who says that next week's pay-per-view event is sure to be the greatest one ever. Gene Okerlund. There's an amazing clip online of Booker T calling Mean Gene the N-word. And it was like just like the shock on Gene Okerlund's face was like, it was unbelievable. So the real reason why men don't ask for directions, and this is like, I don't know, like what was that in the 90s? Like that was the go-to joke. Like, man, oh, they never asked for directions. I don't know. I'm not going to encourage that joke any longer. Here we go. Artist. I love this art. It's like, they look like these characters look like a mix between like who is that Blondie, that show, and like Tintin. This looks like if Tintin existed. Like if Tintin had to work with Dagwood Bumstead at the factory or wherever he worked, like that's what he would look like. He'd be very upset. New victim groups for the 90s. Gosh, this is like, there's so many things in like the 90s that are just like today. Codependence of the codependents. So then I told him, what about my 12-step program? You're not the only one with the 12-step program. Then he goes, what do you want from me? I'm already going to AA, Gamblers Anonymous, Abusive Spouse Anonymous. God. Newscasters assign stories with the word penis in them. Update on Lorena Bobbitt, the woman who cut off her husband's pee-pee. Ex-cast members of MTV's The Real World now forced to cope with the real world. Yeah, how many of them landed on their feet? I think quite a few of them did all right. I mean, but I guess that was like at a time when reality shows were like, I don't know. It was, I guess, before the reality shows were more of a gateway into like celebrityhood, like B-list, not even like D-list celebrityhood. Oh, bald guys who actually fell for the spray-on hair. That's sad. They didn't really do that. I can't imagine they sold a lot of them. Oh, men with Fabio envy. that. This is, wonder if this is pre or post seagull in the face. Some more lovely spy versus spy. All right, so this is like, this is interesting. This is where, here it was M and E signed it, and in this one, it was M and P signed it. That spy versus spy. So like that's what I was kind of talking about, where it'd be like there was not like a revolving door, but there was a fair amount of people that got to work on spy versus spy as artists and writers. So, can you name a more consistent artist than Sergio Aragones? I mean, this dude's been at it for like 30 years. I don't know why I said 30 years. This is like from 30 years ago, practically. And his art looks the exact same. Like, to me, that's pretty dang impressive. He's just so good at, look at this lady's pissing. That's what she's doing. Are you unaware of that? I'm not, because of that storytelling. I can tell. I make that face. Come on, man. TV people, what they say and what they really mean. Look at this art, man. I'm going to skip it. I can't find it. So, lighter side of, get that out of my face. I'm just getting more and more, Paul Peter Porges. I'm getting more and more upset every time I see the lighter side of. I have very little patience for this. So, yeah. Goofus and Gallant. Goofus and Gallant, if you were unaware, was a sorry, I'm like half reading this, half trying to explain. It was in Highlights magazine. That's where I remember reading it. It was Highlights magazine. It would be Goofus was the jackass who always got everything wrong, and Gallant, well, it was Gallant. He did things the right way. Whoa, brushes with fame. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Got a hug, bro. That's pretty awesome. Jennifer Love Hewitt, when it was, I mean, in the 90s, that was like, there was nothing bigger. What was that? She was in a bunch. It was her and Freddie Prinze Jr. Those were the ones, right? I mean, they were like, all right, Tom. All right, I'm just like reading back your comments. And Drew Friedman has done a ton of stuff. He worked for National Lampoon before Mad. Yeah, I kind of want to know what he's been up to after Mad Magazine. I've seen a lot of these guys like on Twitter. I've been trying to follow more and more Mad artists, and I've noticed that a lot of them are doing like editorial stuff, which is like good money. Especially if you can get into like New Yorker or something. I think they pay pretty good money there. So hey, I'm gonna keep going on this, but before I do, because there is the delay, I think I'm really only gonna have time. Well, I don't know. I guess I could go for an hour, but which one should I do next? NYPD Blue, Class of '96, or Robin Hood? If you just put your opinion in the chat, say like Robin Hood, Graduation, or NYPD. That's, I don't know. You guys choose. So Goofus and Gallant, let's go and kind of see some of these details a little bit better. So, although confident with his health, Gallant has still taken the proper battery of medical tests just to be sure. I look at, I fudged this up so badly. This is Goofus and Gallant's guide to sex and dating. So really, this is what we need. This is what we need in life. Goofus, he's pretty sure that the green stuff he coughs up every morning is just phlegm. Thinking it unseemly, Gallant never discusses ultra personal details in those face-to-face sex talks with the guys. Goofus agrees. After all, that's what the internet is for. Oh my gosh, this is like Desmond Delvin. And this is quite good. Whoa. Look at this. Here we go. Gallant would never think of trying anything with a woman without getting her explicit consent first. Jameson Liba, what's up? And I see, graduation issue. Goofus says that if she didn't want it, she never should have ordered the fancy salad. Oh my god. I might have to do a whole episode on this issue. This is like, all right, so Duck Edwing sequestered at the OJ trial. Now, like, that something's pretty big if Duck Edwing is getting a 3-page spread on the subject of it. That's pretty it's like, yeah, unless you lived through it, you don't understand really how much it just took over everything. Just completely. Jim Carrey visits the Larry Sanders Show. Now, if you haven't seen it, the Larry Sanders Show, it was a show on HBO. It had Gary Shandling, and it was Gary Shandling basically playing the late night talk show host. I think there's probably like maybe somebody it was based more on, but I always kind of imagined it was David Letterman. I don't know why. But it was sort of like, I guess it was many people because he had a sidekick. His sidekick was, hey now, Hank Haney. And that was played by the dude. What was his name? He went on to be in a ton of things, including Arrested Development. He played the father in Arrested Development. He was on that show Transparent that won a bunch of awards on Amazon, stuff like that. But this is like, the Larry Sanders Show is absolutely amazing. I think it was on HBO, and they probably still have it. It's 100% worth a watch through. It's very, very, very good. Is this one folded? I'm not going to fold this because I'm one of those people. Well, this one, all right, so only one person voted. Jameson Liba doing the graduation issue. So here we go. Congratulations, class of 96. By the way, you're doomed. Just like everybody who's complaining about like the 21st century, just understand, like, we're just basically reliving the 1990s. That's all it is. So if you made it through the 90s, you're going to make it through this decade too. Oh, 7 concurrent viewers. That's an all-time high for me. Thank you so much, guys. If you're watching, hit like. I really appreciate it. This is like a really chill stream where I'm going through some of these issues. If you want more of this, hit subscribe. Don't want more of this, I understand. It's not for everybody. So here we go. But anyway, my thesis is, right now, we're basically just living through the 90s again. Let's see. Congratulations, class of 96. By the way, you are doomed. Oh, I thought there was like some insert. A cool illustration. Who did this? Own? I've never heard of that person. Again, one of the worst table of contents of all times. 8 concurrent viewers. Oh my gosh. This is success beyond my wildest dreams. Holy smokes. This is like, look at me. Getting all verklempt. Hold on. Now, this is one thing that I always enjoyed about Mad Magazine, and I continue to enjoy, even though it doesn't actually happen anymore. That is when celebrities would send in pictures of themselves holding the issue. Later on, it became like, how could you dupe a celebrity into taking a photograph with a given issue? And they would have like contests where they would name like 50 celebrities. In the 90s, like one of them would be like John Bobbitt. Get your picture taken with John Bobbitt and holding a Mad magazine, and you'll get a 5-year subscription. Get one with Tanya Harding, and you'll get a 5-year subscription. But there was a point in time where Mad magazine was so respected that people would take humiliating photos of them holding the magazine and send it in. 9 concurrent viewers. Holy smokes. This is like, listen, watch out, PewDiePie. I'm coming for you. And like one of my favorites that was sent in was Kirk and Spock reading the Mad magazine that they were, it was, forget the number of it, but on the cover it was a joke about Avis, and Avis had this slogan, which is like, we try harder. And on this issue of Mad magazine, it said, we don't try very hard. And so they sent in a picture, and they're like in their costume and everything. It was a pretty cool one. Hey, somebody hit like. Yes, please hit like. I think that helps. I've been told that helps. But anyway, so Ron Howard sends this in. Apollo 13 director Ron Howard reviews Mad's satire Appalling 13 in issue 341. Ron enjoyed making the outer space drama so much, he's hoping to revive his acting career with a part in the upcoming new Star Wars movie, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, how frustrating must it be to have so much success as a director and still have your earliest work be brought up as a punchline. Jameson, oldest. I like the new and old Mad magazine. The oldest I have is issue 115, December 1967. I love it. Though we don't try very hard. Oh, okay. So that was issue 115. Sick Magazine's motto was "Why try harder?" But that's the problem is if you marry your Tom, was that motto from Avis? Like, were they saying it in direct relation to that? That's like one of the problems with being too clever or like too of the time, is that then it doesn't age very well, and people are like, wait, why was this funny? And I mean, I guess like what's more important, being successful in a moment or being appreciated decades later? Probably being successful in the moment, I guess. Coming from somebody who isn't successful, I would say being successful in the moment is probably a little more important. Insignificant data, at 346 on. Oh, that is insignificant. Why did I waste my time? We have Mad's Beatles songbook. Look at this. This is great. We have just a ton of art. Sergio Aragon. Oh, Drew Friedman, Sergio Aragones, Tom Bunk, Angelo Torres, Dennis Langdon Jr., and of course, 3 guesses as to who wrote the lyrics for these songs. I'm not even going to say it because I know you guys know. So, gambling. Sung to the tune of something. What is something? I'm thinking of the song by Eric Clapton. Something in the way she moves affects me like no other lover. That's not it. And I'm not going to do these because I don't want to sing for you. Hey, Newt. And then I just sang that. Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich has managed to stay relevant even today. Who did this? Is this Tom Bunk? This is like... I don't see whose signature that is. No, that's Tom Bunk. This is like in the style of Basil Wolverton. If you don't know, Basil Wolverton he was this fantastic illustrator from like the Pacific Northwest, and he hung out in the Pacific Northwest, and I guess he sent everything by mail. When I did the interview with Noah Van Sciver, he was telling me that all of the work he did for Mad Magazine was via mail. He wasn't like one of those people who was living in New York City. Beatles song, but anyway, I've got to finish this thought, and then I'm going to reply to a comment. And so Basil Wolverton had all of those like really amazing, grotesque faces that you see in some of those early Mad Magazine issues. He also did a lot, I think all of the covers for Plop from DC. Yeah, so this is like sort of that style of Basil Wolverton. Anyway, Jameson says that Beatles songbook picture was in the inside cover of the June 13th, or the issue 13 in June. Yeah, that all music issue. And then it was colored, right? They got a colorist to do everything on it. But wait, was it this one? Or was it like a one like that? Because this also has like all of these weird, it has like Princess Di in there. It has Sarah Jesse Raphael, and I'm curious if it's the same one or like that they just kind of aped it. Fred Wolf was Sick Magazine. Frank Jacobs, he wrote a lot of clever poetry and limericks. Something with the lyrics you. Yeah, but what song is it? Oh, is it that wait, so it is that song. Okay. Casey Ori, hey man, thank you for tuning in. Calling themselves the second best humor magazine was a joke referring. Oh, you guys are having a conversation. I'll stay out of it. Anyway, the royal family sung to Yellow Submarine. Gosh, oh man, actually, I'm not going to talk about it because that's like a conspiracy theory. Mad look at graduations. It's just perfect. The way that he draws expression. This is like, I got to zoom in on this. Hopefully it shows up all right. This expression right there. Like, to me, there is nothing. Look at that guy's like just this maniac, just so excited to ruin graduation. This dude, look at, he's a complete idiot. He's like a total moron. He's just happy to be included. So anyway, they move on. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Ah. And then, oh, God. They all. That's what I would love if they were like doing the Spy versus Spy movie. I wonder if you could do a Mad Magazine movie, but instead of having it be like try to create a coherent story for Spy versus Spy, you instead do something like where like you connect all of them. So it's like just a number of like little vignettes of like this right here. Like take 7 minutes to tell that story, and then jump onto something else. Then do a lighter side of thing. And then after that, do some snappy answers and you could have something maybe linking all of those together, but you could make it like, it could be animated. You could do animation and live action, do some like sort of like meta textual thing. You know what you do? You get Grant Morrison to write the Mad Magazine. I have to write this idea down. Forget I said anything. My idea. Casey Ori, if you start writing down humor magazines that Tom Smith recommends, you're gonna go broke, brother. He's got a lot of them, man. And yeah, I got a list that I'm gonna try to track down a lot of them that he's told me about. The dude knows a lot about this stuff. Some chilling thoughts. Who is this artist? This is, I want to try to remember. It's Tulka. And I wish I could say that I remembered it all on my own, but I saw his signature right down there. Rick Tulka, I really like his style. I like these kind of grotesque faces. I think that his style of caricature is it's original. It's identifiable in a way. It's yeah. Oh yeah, Tom, I did notice that Sylvester is my arch nemesis. In case you haven't noticed, I say a lot of things I don't really mean. I just pop into my head. Appliance story, or how other things in your house behave when you're not around. I feel like this has been done before. Who is this written by? Artist Steve Smallwood, writer Dick DiBartolo. I feel like, this gag has been done, right? I mean, and as far as that goes, like Toy Story, the idea of that, of like something coming to life and having some different behavior while your back is turned, like that story's been done too. There wasn't really that. I guess you know what it did? It made people sad and then it made them happy. So they thought it was a great story. You know, telemarketing theater. Okay. May 1996. That is the when this came out. So 96. Here we have telemarketing. Contrary to what most people think, the vast majority of obscene phone calls are not made by drooling, rain-coated perverts. Come from undrooling, unrain-coated perverts. Yes, we mean telemarketers, those pushy, obnoxious purveyors of crap-ola extraordinaire. Want to beat these parasitic vermin back into the hole from whence they came? Be sure to tune in to the Potter Zeeby Players production of Telemarketing Theater. I want to point this out because this is Jack Davis, man. And like I was just sort of like marveling at Sergio Aragones and how well, I mean, his art is like unchanged. He's like in his 80s. He's got to be, right? He's in his 80s. And his art looks the same as when he was in his 30s. And that's not to say like he hasn't grown as an artist, but it's like he's maintained his skills even into an age when a lot of people lose them. One of the sad things about looking back at Mort Drucker in his, like, after his passing, like looking at his later contributions, like you could see age was getting to him, and I think like drawing, illustrating, drafting, like whatever you want to call it, is not something that's easy on the body. Like that's something that I've learned as I've kind of like just read more about these artists that I love. It's a hard thing to do, to sit on your ass all day hunched over a desk, Going to the chat. Yeah, Jameson, lighter side of as a sitcom. Yeah, man, like that you could absolutely do that because there's also recurring characters, like Kaputnik, and then like there are these like weird, like those same like freaky looking kids that he would draw. So yeah, you could absolutely do that. That would be a good idea. Yeah, Tom, I want to talk to you about the interview because I was like, as I was thinking about it, is like, what am I gonna like? I got to have it focused somehow. So we should talk and see what we would chat about. Because at least, I mean, I want it to be a conversation, but at least have some thing to like kind of like some track that we can eventually veer off of. Why do I get the feeling that if the spy versus spy movie gets made, they'll be sure to make the spies silent? Because they got to make spies talk, there's going to be a lot of controversy. Yeah, man. I talked about that in my video. It was look at here. Let me use movie magic for a second. I'm going to make myself bigger. It's like you can't give them voices. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to have it be Kevin Hart and the guy who played Star-Lord. It's like we could probably guess if that movie got made who the the voice actors will be, because it'll just be like two of the big ones, you know? It's um I don't know. I if they did it, I think having it be silent would be the way to go. Uh it's I don't know. We'll see. It's like somebody pointed out in the comments section of one of my videos that they actually said they were going to make a sequel to Up the Academy, the Mad Magazine movie that came out in like the 60s. And like that's crazy. That would be crazy if they did that. And they said they got like an A-list writer attached to it. But then they said nothing. It's like 2 years later. So I think like the nature of Hollywood is that like people put a lot of irons in the fire, and you know, not all of them pan out. I want to see Mad be successful. So I hope some of that stuff comes out, or like stuff happens with it, but I don't know. I worry though. I too worry. All right. So, the telemarketing theater, we got Jack Davis. Oh, and Sergio Aragone's birth, 1937. He's born in Spain. That's why he has that mustache, right? That's always seemed like a Spaniard's mustache. Um, let's just look at these illustrations. Like, look at. I love the how different he makes his characters. It's like you see some illustrators who have a little bit. Some illustrators fall into a style, and then like all their characters kind of carry certain elements from one to the next. And like you can see similarities between characters. Like you might see like he'll do sort of like these very like round eyes a lot of times. But it's like no characters look too much alike. It's like they exist in the same world, but they do not look like they could be related. I feel like a lot of illustrations that happens where you get these characters that are created and like, wait, are they brothers? Oh no, they're strangers. Why do they look so much alike? They have the same body shape, the same nose. It's just one's bald. It's like, you know, there's no mistaking these guys, but they exist in the same world. That makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if that. Wait, am I? Oh, I'm going the wrong. I wasn't paying attention. I got distracted. Hey, if you haven't hit like, please do that. I would really appreciate that. I'm coming up on like an hour, and I think I call it a day pretty soon here. This is the very first one I did, so I didn't maybe pick the best time to do like an extended stream, but yeah, I'm gonna finish this up. So the Devil's Advocate, a monthly newsletter for Satan worshippers. Who wrote this? Frank Jacobs and Bill Fibbers. And look at this lovely George Woodbridge illustration. Is this a new George Woodbridge illustration? Like, was this, they reused this? There's so many awesome details in this. So we have Satan right there, and then underneath it, this is something that Mad Magazine, what they would have in, they would always have, like, you'll see in a lot of illustrations, the artist will put in this framed picture of William Gaines, and then below it, there's the little banner that says "Our Founder." So they have Satan here, our founder, right there. What else? Is there anything else in there? This is like just kind of an amusing detail, like the little sterno, the jelly stuff that you can light on fire. Like it's an odd, kind of an odd detail to like fit in there, but whatever. George Woodbridge, you're a pro, man. if you're still with us. If you're not, you're still a pro. Have a barbecue and 9 other great ideas for post-sacrificial leftovers. Our travel experts pick the 50 best churches, temples, and that's supposed to be dioceses? Oh, mosques. Okay. Our travel experts pick the 50 best churches, temples, and mosques in Europe to deface. Vomiting on the cross on cue. Our experts show you how. Surefire ways to foil an exorcist, and 6 new sins your whole family can enjoy. Have I watched Stanley's interview with Jack Davis and Harvey Kurtzman? No. No, man. If you have a link to that, could you send that to me? I would love to watch that. That'd be wonderful. That might be a fun one to do, sort of like I don't know if a live stream would be the right thing to do, but maybe a video where like I watch it and do commentary. That might be something to do as like a Wednesday video. A biopic of William Gaines. Dude, hold on. Remind me of that in a second. Look at this. This is awesome because look at I love it when they do stuff like this, where one, you have a bunch of artists. Here's like the Angelo Torres. I don't know who this artist is. You have a bunch of artists. You have the photography stuff going in. It's just like, I love this stuff. It just feels so fun. I mean, it's probably a lot of work, I would imagine, to... Tom, just send me a link. Send it through Skype. Yeah. Because then I can't, like, lose it. It feels more complete. It's probably a lot of work, but it's like, I don't know. I like that. I like those themed things. Like drama on page 29. What is this? I'm so stupid. All right, so this lady smacks him with the newspaper and she says, you moron, how many times do I have to tell you, wait until the planes turn around up the beach before you read the signs? I was like trying to figure out, I was like, is he speaking another language? Gosh, that is really good. John Caldwell, you knocked it out of the park on that. You made me feel like a real rube. Pope Mobile. The Pope Mobile was a pretty big deal. Pope Mobile, don't know if you know this, Pope John Paul II shot. There's an attempted assassination, and so I believe it was after that they built him a dope car, and it was like this Mercedes Benz, and it had like this huge thing because Pope would people want to see the Pope, and he needs to be protected, and people want to see him. It's not like what do you call it? President, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna whoa. Amazing discovery products that never left the lab. I'm gonna actually flip it over and end it here because I do want to say things real quick. What was it? There was a few things. Do you know if there's a gold, silver, bronze age of Mad magazines? Not really. I mean, Jameson, I think a lot of people just sort of divide it into like the comics versus magazine. So like basically like the Kurtzman years and not the Kurtzman years. I don't know if there is really a gold or silver or bronze age. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would actually be a good question for like Doug Guilford, who runs Mad Cover Site. But yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of one mentioned. Casey Ori, a biopic of William M. Gaines would be amazing and appealing to broad audience. Maybe John Goodman playing Gaines. John Goodman, play anybody, right? I mean, that guy's like incredibly talented. But I love that idea because I mean that he is a person that led a pretty amazing life. And I think that there are a lot of things that he did that would be really celebrated by people that don't already know about it. I mean, he was like one of those first people who stood up to censorship. And I mean, like, he had that amazing speech that he gave to Congress or the Senate or whatever, where he was like, what are we afraid of? We're afraid of our own children. You know, like, oh, that a story of thieving will turn them into robbers, that a story of murder will turn them to murder. Like, it was just really, really potent. Wasn't effective. Like, they still had to do the Comics Code Authority and stuff. He had to switch formats to a magazine so he wouldn't get, have to deal with that. But yeah, I think that, I mean, that's like, you could start the movie there, and but I mean, yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, I think that'd be really, really cool. See, yeah, if the spies did talk, who would you want to voice a black spy and white spy? Jim Carrey. Listen, I saw Jim Carrey in that. Well, here's the thing. I'm not even going to entertain that because it would make me so mad if they did talk. It would just upset me. But Jim Carrey is, I saw that Sonic movie, and like, that dude still got it. So, anyway, hey, there was something else I wanted to say, but I forget what I was going to say. I think I would like to do some more of these live stream things. I don't know if it would be more magazines or maybe looking through other items, like mad related items, or maybe even like I got a bunch of issues of Plop, which was a humor magazine put out by Mad Magazine. I don't know. So if you enjoyed this, hit like and let me know if there's something else that would be good to have in a future live stream. I'm going to leave this up so you could just like leave a comment on it later and just let me know if there's other stuff that you think would be good. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I had like 8 or 9 people viewing at one point, which feels like an absolute win to me. And yeah, with that, I'm going to probably just wrap it up. I might stay, I think like the chat stays up for a little bit, so I might just reply to folks if there are things that are said after I end this. With that, I'm actually just going to switch over to here and do this.